Welcome to Saturday Morning Talk Show, Spilling the Tea to Juliet G. It's every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. GMT time.
If anybody pressure you this year, you know what you go do? Just block them, delete them, remove them for your contact. Block them, delete them, remove them for your contact. Don't pressure me, don't pressure me, don't pressure me, don't pressure me. Here we go.
I say I want them my space. You say you know they fear my face. Say you say you feel run this race. You be one they play with grace. Say now you don't face this grace. As you know I leave my case. No be the same money we they chase. But you still never tell me why the hate. Wait, why the hate? And you still never tell me why the hate. Bros, why the hate? You still never tell me why the hate.
Block them, delete them, remove them for your contact. Block them, delete them, remove them for your contact. Don't pressure me, 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 don't pressure me. Here we go. Zero pressure for this side, for this side, for this side.
Steady, now we dey run this town. If you do anyhow, you go see anyhow. No go look at your face, so. Mama, you go see anyhow. Oh yeah, check block the blocker. Oh yeah, check block the blocker. When they do anyhow, if you do anyhow, Mama, you go see anyhow.
Everybody when pressure you. Block 'em, 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 delete 'em for your contact. Block 'em, delete 'em for your contact. Don't pressure me, 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 don't pressure me. Here we go. Don't pressure me, don't pressure me, don't pressure me, don't pressure me. 2 seconds, I go block you, delete you, remove you from my contact. I dey tell you, you don't dey hear word. 2 seconds, I go block you, delete you, remove you from my contact. You know dey hear word. I don't tell you, don't know.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine, people. You know what time it is. Welcome to another exciting edition of your Saturday morning talk show, Spilling That Tea to Juliet G. Yes, no matter what part of the world you are tuning in from, north, south, east or west, you know home is best. And that's where you should be right now, because it's cold outside. Yes. So for the next couple of hours, it's your host Juliet G, where I converse with real people and get them to spill that tea, and that's a T with a double E, and get them to talk their truth. Now this Saturday I'll be in conversation with Mr. Townsend, who'll be bringing us his monthly community news and information and much more. So stay tuned. Yes, and also I'd like to thank my guests last week, Ms. Ashley Rose, who brought us information and stories from a young person's perspective. Now, I hope you're feeling much better, Ashley. Get well soon. Ashley will be back with us very, very soon. Now, I have a designated text line. Yes. Now, if you have any messages or scenarios that you would like to address on the show or suggestions, you can text 07904 818 799. That is 07904 818 799. That's the Spilling the Tea text hotline. Yes. Now, a big shout out, as always, to the contributors and sponsors of my show, Supreme FM, Fine Boy Inc., and Martin Winter of James Shoe Care in Barkingside. And also, I'd like to give a big shout out to my Supreme FM family. You know who you are. Big shout out to you and big up your status. Now, remember, today is the Coinage Coup, week number 4, the savings plan. So, as I say every week, there are 4 ways you can save. Yes, and you know what? You don't even have to tell anybody or let anybody know. Now, this week, forward, you're saving £4. So, in total, you'll have a £10 saving in your kitty. Or you can do it backwards like I'm doing, and you can put away £49 and you have a total saving of £202. Or you can do it monthly by putting away £114.87 for the month of January. Or you can do an equal amount every week of £26.50, making a grand total monthly saving of £106. And as I say, no matter which way you choose to save, the outcome will be the same. So by the 30th of December, we would have a grand saving total of £1,378. So, who's joining the savings quest? You don't need to let anybody know. Just get your tin jar or even your socks and put away that money. So let's get saving and change your financial situation. Yeah. So, just a quick reminder, the Errol McKellar Foundation are hosting their monthly free coffee morning event this morning. Let's sit and talk cancer from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and it's every last Saturday of the month. And this event is going to be held at the JN Bank, 410 Brixton Road. That's 410 Brixton Road, SW9 7AW. That's SW9 7AW. And there'll be a presentation by Dr. Jonathan Noel, consultant urological surgeon from Guy's and St. Thomas's Hospital, who will be explaining every step from symptoms and diagnosis and the treatments that will be available. And if you're unable to attend, you can also join via Zoom. And the meeting ID number, if you are interested, is 694-490-5731. The meeting ID number is 694-490-5731. And the passcode is 186204. The passcode number is 186204. 904. Now, if you have any community news and information, you can text to me on 07904 818 799. Now, this coming Thursday, I'll be back on the 2nd of Feb, and I'll be going Insta Live. As February is Valentine's and Black History Month in the States, I have decided to dedicate the month of February to loving our brothers. I have 3 incredible men, Wayne Dibby Rollins, Yinka Orituga, and Pastor Eddie Hippolyte, and I'm really looking forward to this. So you are not, if you're not already following me on Insta, it's Spilling the Tea to Juliet G, and you'll get all your notification when I go Insta Live. Now, just to let you know that people have been asking me when it is the monthly Young People's Prize Draw coming back again. Now, because they have some young people that they would like to enter. So I said, that's nice. So, well, Auntie is getting her thinking cap on. So you better get creative and get your juices flowing, because hear what? I'm going to want to hear some sound effects, some storytellings as you get your creative juices going. That's all I'm saying. I'll give you the full information and details next week. Because this will also involve you, the listeners, I just need to iron out a few details. I have one sponsor lined up, but I'm just looking for 1 or 2. So if you would like to be a sponsor, feel free to contact me and I'll let you know. It's good for us to encourage the next generation. Now, a little history lesson for you today. And today I'm going to take it back to the Rwandan Civil War, which is known as the Rwandan Genocide. And the Rwandan Genocide happened from the 7th of April to the 15th of July 1994. Now, this civil war in Rwanda happened for a period of about 100 days, where members of the Tutsi, which was the minority ethnic groups in Rwanda, were killed by armed Hutu militants, which are the majority group in Rwanda. Now, in 1962, Rwanda gained its independence from Belgium, but 30 years of Belgian rule left marks on Rwanda and its people that cannot be removed. The perpetrators of the genocides were down to the Belgian colonizers, the Hutus, and the RTLM. And the RTLM was a Rwandan radio station which broadcasted from the 8th of July 1993 to the 31st of July in 1994. It broadcasted hate-filled incitements to violence, which directed murderous chaos towards the minority Tutsi population. The conflict started on the 6th of April 1994 when a plane arriving carrying the Rwandan president Juvenal Habib Marirewa, a Hutu, was shot down. Now, the Hutu extremists then launched their plans to destroy the entire Tutsi civilian population because they blamed them for the death of their Rwandan president. Now, the Belgians viewed the Tutsi minority as superior to the Hutus, and favored the Tutsis for leadership positions. This favoritism created ongoing and deep tension between the Tutsis and the Hutus. Now, the Hutus murdered as many as 800,000, mostly Tutsi minority. Remember, this happened all in a period of 100 days. So that's literally 100,000 people were killed a day. Now, this conflict between the Hutsis and the Tutsis really runs deep. About 600 years ago, the Tutsis, tall warrior people, moved south from Ethiopia and invaded the homeland of the Hutus. Now, though they were smaller in number, the Tutsis conquered the Hutus, who agreed to raise crops for the Tutsis, and in return, they got protection. Now, I hope you enjoyed that bit of African history as much as I did, because, you know, there is definitely a wealth of history in Africa. Yes, and on that note, I'll be bringing on my sister Son. So just bear with as I bring on my sister Son as she leads us in prayer.
Saturday morning talk show.
Dear Lord God, as we come together again today to listen in to Spilling the Tea to Juliet G, thank you for your word that shows us how great a friend you are to us and how we can be good friends to others as well. So as we listen in to the guests today and the things that are going to be shared, let us remember to take them as a friend, to hear what's being said in a friendly way, to open our minds to what's being said and open our hearts to what's being said. Let it be, dear Lord God, that today is a day where we rejoice in your name. We rejoice in all the things that you do for us, whether we believe or we don't believe. Let it be, dear Lord God, that we are continue to be blessed. Blessed by my friend Juliet G as we listen in to Spilling the Tea. Watch over her, her family, and most importantly, watch over everybody that's listening in today. In Jesus' name, I lift these few words up to you. Your name is to be praised, honored, and glorified. Amen.
I know what you're going through. I've been there too. Through all the hurt and the pain. Had days of sunshine and rain, but no matter what people say, and no matter what comes my way, I promised I would give him praise. This is what I have to say. I know what you're going through. My child, I've been there too. Through the hurt, the pain, had sunshine and rain, but I will give the Lord total praise. Each and every day I will magnify his holy name. Give the Lord the praise. The heavens declare your majesty. The stars declare your glory. For you alone are holy, Lord, and worthy of the praise. So if you love the Lord, say yes. If you love the Lord, say yes. If you love him, say yes. If you love the Lord, say yes. From the time I was a child, I've always heard of you, Jesus, and I've seen in my own eyes the wondrous things you can do. That's why I give total praise. The heavens declare your majesty, the stars declare your glory. For you alone are holy, Lord, and worthy of the praise. So if you love the Lord, say yes. If you love the Lord, say yes. If you love him, you say yes. If you love the Lord, tell him yes. So let the faint at heart take her rest. Let the weak say I'm strong. God will exchange your gloom for gladness and fill your life with song. So if you love the Lord, say yes. If you love the Lord, say yes. If you love him, say yes. If you love the Lord, tell him yeah. Tell him yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. If you love him, tell him yeah. Soul. I can't find nobody like him, y'all. Oh, I love him so. Oh, if you love the Lord, say yes. Yeah. If you love the Lord, say yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you love him, say yes. If you love the Lord, tell him yeah. Tell him yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. If you love him, tell him yeah. If you love the Lord, say yes. If you love the Lord, say yes. If you love him, tell him yes. If you love the Lord, tell him yes. I can't find nobody like him, y'all.
Welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Without further ado, I'd like to bring on my guest, Mr. Lee Townsend. Drum roll, please. Okay. I'll just imagine the sound effects.
I wasn't worth it.
I'll just imagine the sound effects.
Okay, cool. Morning, Juliet. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Happy New Year to you, because this technically is the first time officially that I'm speaking to you. So Happy New Year, Lee. How are you?
Thank you.
How's your New Year been?
Receive it. Do you know what? It started off well, you know.
Good.
I can't complain at all. I've been really busy, and I think last year I had some time off work, and going back to work now, I feel like I found my feet. As the new year hit, I hit the ground running. And it's just been amazing, So I'm just waiting to see what the new year has in store. I've made some life-changing decisions, and I'm following through with those things, and I feel better for it.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. So, Lee, what do you have for us?
You surprised me this morning, you know.
I surprised you?
Yeah, big time.
Why?
You can come with drum roll and all these vibes, and I know you to be your inquisitive, curious, never let it go, dog without bone type person. So I said to you, I've made some life-changing decisions. You never even asked me what they were. You just killed my thunder, girl.
You see, as they say, expect the unexpected. Right?
Well, I'm learning now.
And do not always expect Juliet to ask a follow-up question, because she might not ask it.
Radio Land, she's just flopping me. She's not interested in my life anymore.
You know, don't do me like that now. Hey, Lee. So, your life-changing decisions. Mind-blowing, eh?
You're gonna ask me. Wow. Now listen, Honestly, everyone listening to this radio program this morning, we're gonna talk some real truths today, man.
Okay.
And the reality is that life is hard.
Do you know what?
Anyone who tells you that, go on, go on.
Do you know there is people going through so much right about now, right?
That the
That
truth.
we need to touch on suicide. We need to touch on mental health. We need to touch on so many things, yeah, so many things. And sometimes I know people don't always want to speak to a friend. Sometimes they feel easier to speak to a stranger. But I always say to people, if you're find someone that you can talk to, because talking, trust me, I know, yeah, because I have my go-to person when people piss Juliet G off, yeah. There are two people I go to, and I chew their ears off, and they are listening to this live now. Yeah, they know who they are. I'm not gonna call their names.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Because I chew their ears off. I speak to them literally every day. Sometimes about 5 or 6 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe even more, depending
You're ride or die,
on
man. You're
what's
ride or
going.
die.
Yes, absolutely. I chew their ears off. Yeah, always
you
find
know
that
what?
person that you can speak to that really doesn't mind, that allows you to be you. And what I love about them is they allow me to be me. I cuss, I shout, I scream.
And you
Yes.
ball.
And no, do you know what? I don't really cry that easy. It takes a lot to make me cry, you know.
Well, you gave the examples of suicide, depression. So I thought that was a lot. So I don't know. You tell me.
No. But I mean, you know, for me personally, when things upset me, you know, it takes a lot. I think that's why I vent, so that I don't get that pent up
Let
anger.
me just chip in there and say, you know what? Suicide and all these things are big things, big deals, but on the scale of emotions and feelings, there's no one thing that's heavier than the other
No.
for everyone.
No.
And sometimes the small things, and sometimes the quandary of not knowing how you're going to pay your rent is as serious for somebody as trying to determine what's the next household product they should buy or which holidays you can go on. It might stress them out. For me, it's so mad, but you know what causes me a great deal of stress? I cannot book holidays. Unless it's somewhere I've been before, it's I find it overwhelming. And it's just my thing. And everybody's got their own little thing. So yeah, talking is absolutely amazing. But back to me and the life-changing decisions that I've made in my life.
Oh, let's go back. Let's go back to you, Lee. Make it all about you. Go on.
As they say, we digress.
Yes. Go on, Lee.
The two things that I've done, they're small things, but they're big things for me. So one is, I wanted to give up drinking, so I've given up alcohol for not dry January, but I said I'm going to do 30 days minimum and 70 days probably maximum.
Yeah.
And I've been doing very, very well. Last night I felt a bit guilty because I had some rum cake, but that's eating, so I think I get away with it.
Yeah.
And then my new thing that I'm doing is I'm reading 4 pages of a book every day.
Oh, fantastic.
And I think that's why I say life is hard, because anything that you want to change in your life, it's going to come by breeding new habits.
True.
And I think that it's weird, because I always hear people saying they watch these nature programs and how much they learn from it. And I'm like, what a load of crap.
But then that's crap to you.
Exactly. And as a young person, I used to always look at ants. I don't know why. And I used to look at, bloody hell, look how hard they work just to bring a piece of ice lolly over to the other side, and it'll probably melt by the time they get there. But they team up and they're so tenacious and consistent, which is the main thing, that they'll bring it. If they don't get it all the way home, they get it as close to as possible. And I think with the reading, 4 pages is not a lot, but at some point, being consistent with those 4 pages, I'm going to finish the book.
Yeah.
And I think I use that as a guide throughout everything in my life, that you know what, you don't have to be brilliant, you don't have to be perfect, but you do need to be consistent and steadfast and have your goal in mind, you know. And that's what's kind of driving me this year. I want to achieve certain things, and I'm not putting myself under any unnecessary pressure. But what I am committing myself to do is to follow through and to remain consistent. I go back to my statement: life is hard, but through small, gentle steps that are wrapped in consistency, we're unstoppable beings, man.
We are. As they say, united we stand, divided we fall.
So that means when I get stuck and my eyes are burning me, I can call Juliet and say,
You
"Look,
can call me any time of the day.
start reading to me."
I'll read. I'll read. I might even put you to sleep.
Oh gosh,
The
I
voice
hear
will
you,
be
man.
so soothing. That's not the intention, to put one to sleep. Did you hear my a little bit of African history? Last week I touched on the Biafran War. This week,
When I tuned in last week, all I heard you talking about was this stupid Love Island nonsense.
oh, that was Ashley.
It was you and her, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but listen, I have to get down with the young people.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, and I heard you. I was like, you sounded more excited than she did.
Listen. Do you know what? That is my guilty pleasure. It's one of my guilty pleasures. But do you know what? I found this program called it's a series. I was actually going to watch something on Netflix, and you know when you go onto Netflix and it has a way of, it comes up with Prime, doesn't it? Prime stuff or Lionsgate Plus or something else. And
That's not Netflix. That's Amazon.
yeah, but before I go on to Netflix,
Oh, so you're using the Fire Stick, Amazon
yeah,
Fire Stick or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was,
Okay. Cool.
and so all right, Mister.
Go on.
See, you know how to blow my thunder.
Oh, no, I was trying to understand.
Anyway, you made me digress. The word of the day, digression. Anyway,
Okay.
as I was saying, do you know what?
Prime new series. You found it while looking for Netflix.
Thank you. Do you know this menopause thing, right, is, if anybody knows, yeah, that is actually going through it, I actually have to write everything down, because if I don't, right, I literally forget what I'm talking about, and then I have to go to the person, what was we just talking about?
Before we go forward, though, you need to do a show about menopause.
I will
But
do. I will.
The thing about menopause, because we did it at the Fathers Forum. The thing about menopause is that it's not a woman issue.
Yeah.
If she has a partner anyway, or if she's got family, it's an issue that affects everybody. And I think there's a need to hear the man's perspective of dealing with that and being in that challenging situation where you touch her and she kick you off, you tell her she's beautiful and she starts to cry, whatever it may be, and how that affects the man emotionally. But we go back, because we digress.
But
and we get back to Prime. Let's go.
yeah, but hold on a sec. Let's just digress a little bit. Let's hold on to. Now, I was watching a program, and they was talking about they in fact it was a program that was on television, and they was talking about menopause, and they was actually talking about periods, because a young girl came on her period. And I love the way that they brought the two together, because it's something that happens to us women, right? And it's something that's not really spoken about. And people are now starting to talk about it and make it so relevant. And I think it's important, like you said, it does affect everybody, because when we go through our mood swings, sometimes we don't even know. So sometimes we start screaming, or we start crying, or we have belly aches, or some people are sick, physically sick, or it's so debilitating that they can't do anything for a whole week of a month. They cannot do anything. And so I think it's important that, like you said, we talk about these things. So yes, that is definitely a topic that will be discussed on Spilling the Tea, whether Insta Live or the live show.
I'm going to help you get a diverse panel of men. for when you're ready.
Yes, yes. I think that should be on the live as well. That would be good because it's also good to hear from, a man's perspective. But however, like sometimes if I'm saying something, I could just forget what I'm saying, or I walk into a room and I forget what I was going in there for, and then I think,
Amazon Prime, time to get to Netflix. Just saying.
okay, let's go back. I digress to Amazon Prime. And I know now this seems so irrelevant, but I saw this black program called Black Mafia, and it's based on a true story,
Oh, the Black Mafia family.
the Black Mafia family. Have you heard of it?
Do you know what? Have I heard of it?
Yeah.
I got in at 1 o'clock this morning from work, and I was like, you know what? I know there must be a new episode up on that website I go to. And I watched season 2, episode 4
Are you on
last night.
season 2 already? Do you know what?
Long time.
I only just came across it, and I thought this is really good, but I fell asleep when it came to episode, because I've just started, so I'm just a virgin to this. So that I'm going to that's my thing now. I've got to watch it and get up to date.
You need to talk to me about box sets, man. I can fill you in. I can coo you up, girl.
Listen, I think I need to have a box set. What's on and what's hot. Yes.
Okay.
Things to watch.
We have to balance it out, We need to talk about top universities, interesting books.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we need to balance it out for sure.
Yeah.
But where were we? You were going to say something about? Oh, it's a BMF you can talk about.
Yeah,
it's
no,
quite graphic, no? It's quite graphic. The language is very strong.
Yeah, it's not for young children. Definitely not for young children.
Not for the faint of heart either.
No, because it is quite graphic. I was actually even just the first episode. I'm even gonna have to watch that again because I couldn't believe it. I was like, huh? It is very graphical. So if you don't like blood, definitely not for you.
I guess violence as well, because it ain't an A&E type thing.
No,
it's the streets of New York, I think it is.
Is it New York or Atlanta?
I think they went over to Atlanta. No, it's New York, because that crew was around. LL Cool J used to be around them and those people back in the day. Because there's actually a documentary on Netflix about it as well, or one of them stations.
Yeah.
Like a real documentary about the story and stuff. But I think to some extent I'm kind of skeptical about these shows, because what they tend to do, in my opinion, is they glorify that lifestyle.
They do.
So there's not a lesson that comes out of it where this is why you need to stay away. It's almost like, this can work,
But
so we have to be very careful of that. I remember as a youngster and I saw certain films, and when I come out of that theatre, boy, my mindset, if you get in there, you'd probably just lock me up and put me in the prison from now.
Well, you're here to tell the tale.
Another time. It's time to digress.
Yes. Yeah. But no, that was what I wanted to talk about, the Black Mafia family. I was absolutely, quite surprised.
Yeah, but I feel like where we are now, and part of the problem with so many of the ills that we have in our society is that there are so many I find it entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend as if I don't watch it. I enjoy watching it. But I think I'm at a stage in my life, I'm mature enough to try and see. There's life lessons in there in terms of how people navigate relationships, what abuse looks like, manipulation, loyalty. But I think for an immature mind, the triggers are for other things. The stimulation is towards more negativity, and I think that our young people are getting intoxicated on negativity, criminal lifestyle, the need for wealth and riches over peace and harmony, and self and gratification from non-financial means. And I feel like we need to just really be careful. I think the reason why our children are also quite insensitive towards so many things, they're just so desensitized towards death and murder and stuff around them, that it's become the norm. And I think these shows help to compound that. Yeah, to normalize it. That's the word I'm looking for. To normalize it, So, but it is very well written. I think 50 Cent does some really good shows. There's one called For Life.
He's behind it, isn't he?
Yeah. For life is amazing. There's no swearing in it. It's about a lawyer, a man who was framed on a drug deal in his nightclub, sold out by his friend who was actually involved in the deal.
What's that
Ended
on?
up
Is
with
that on Netflix or
I'm not sure where you find it, because I go on those American websites and watch everything.
Okay.
But really good story. He gets a law degree. A former senator helps him that he
Oh,
becomes
yes. I've seen that. Yeah.
helps him that he can get a license to practice, which
Yeah.
so he's the first person in America with a conviction to be able to practice law, and he starts representing everybody in the prison, and that's how he
prison, yeah.
navigates through the gangsters and stuff. And then he gets out
Mm.
and starts working with the government. He gets famous across the whole country. So really inspiring and beautiful story. And I love the way it shows how the criminal justice system can be set against you and how corruption may exist, but how by being upright in all of your intentions and your actions, and by being steadfast in your convictions and fighting for the things that you believe in, that you can rise above it and good can conquer evil. So for me, it's a much better, much more positive, much more inspiring. I've just got this thing for black TV shows that have everything to make it a real story, but there's the absence of the foul language because it just shows how creative the writer actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 Cent is 50 Cent, but no one can't tell me he's not a creative genius.
He is very. I mean, what was the first thing? Ghost.
Oh,
Power. And then did
and then
Power
Book 1 and Power Book 2.
And 3. Is it 3 and 4?
3's coming. I think 3's gonna be the story of what's the white guy called again?
Raising
Canaan was 2.
Canaan.
No, 3. That is 3 actually.
That's
4
3.
is gonna be.
And 4.
4's gonna be about the Egan guy.
Egan,
About Egan.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's out already.
No.
It is. Check your American
check.
contacts.
I would check. I've accessed everything, man. So yeah, really good. Really good.
No,
Really good.
I just watch it for what it is, entertainment. It doesn't go into my, like you say, young minds. But there's something about teaching and instilling certain things into your children from a young age, because I think when you instill right and wrong, good and bad from a young age, and then as they get older they're able to make their choices, and I think that's where the desensitization happens, because you don't become insensitive to people if you have some kind of morals.
But before that all-important commercial comes, 'cause I'm feeling in my bones that it's around the corner.
Yeah.
What's the most inspirational film you've ever watched?
Inspirational. Now you've really got me. That's inspirational.
I think one of the films that really helped to shape my life is Crazy. I mean, these are values that I saw my father kind of instill in me, but what really reinforced it and colored it in bright lights for me was Pay It Forward.
Pay It Forward.
Yeah, Pay It Forward was an amazing film. I think you can watch it on YouTube for free, and it's just about. Go on.
I think my one would be Roots.
Oh, is it? I can't remember what that's about. The only thing I remember in Roots is when Whoopi Goldberg was going to cut the man's throat. Was that Roots?
No.
That's Colour Purple. Sorry, that's Colour Purple.
Kunta Kinte.
That's not a film. That's a series.
That was inspirational for me. It was so inspirational that I sat my son and my foster kids down to watch that, because I felt that it was really important that they heard the story and understood on why it was so important that black parents were so adamant about education. We are coming to that all important. Welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. I'm in conversation with Lee Townsend, who's bringing us Not so much community news, but definitely information and awareness, which we can all benefit from. And yes, Lee, before we went to break, you was talking about films. Films?
Yeah, we're talking about films that were inspiring. Inspiring,
Yeah,
sorry.
what's your inspirational films?
I said it's paying it forward. Paying it forward was really nice.
What was that about?
Paying it forward is about a little kid who was in a class and his teacher had some sort of, I think it was a facial disfigurement or something. I think he got burned or something like that.
Mm.
I think it's Kevin Spacey that stars in that film actually.
Mm-hmm.
And there was all these things that happened where people did good deeds and they just said to the person who they're helping pay it forward. So like one person must have broke their finger or their arm, for example. It's not the exact thing, I'm just giving you an example. And there was a long line in this public hospital and everyone's trying to get through. And this man's daughter came in and she was dying. And the person said, look, you just have to wait. She has to join the line. And the man with the broken arm just said to him, look, let her go forward, go before me. I'll bear the pain. And that 2 minutes, she was able to go in the front of the line, saved her life. And her dad was so grateful and he said, just pay it forward. There was a homeless person living on the street and a man just gave him like the keys to his Rolls Royce and a suitcase of money and said, just pay it forward. So just these examples of random acts of extreme kindness. And it was just beautiful, and it just reminded me of the world that we live in and how your one little word or your one little deed could cause someone's life to totally be transformed and become something else.
Well, I wish somebody would pay it forward.
I think many people have. You've been chewing off people's ear and stuff.
No, I'm talking about financially paying it forward.
I hear you. Yeah, so
no, I shouldn't really be ungrateful because, like, I feel like we always want more, but I feel like I'm blessed.
I've had moments of challenges in my life.
Oh, absolutely.
But I've never had periods of suffering.
Have I had period of suffering? Yes. Sufferation. But then it depends on what see. Suffering for one person might not be suffering to another.
Yes, true. It's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah. So it depends on what you consider to be suffering. I might not have considered that to be suffering. So it's not for me to judge. It's a bit like when you're listening to someone.
But you can judge your own situation, though.
Yes,
surely.
yes. Yeah. I can always judge a situation whereby it's caused me discomfort. And yeah, definitely.
So as we talk about paying it forward, then what's the nicest thing that someone's ever done for you, Juliet?
What's the nicest thing?
Something that you really valued and thought, oh my God, this is such a sweet thing to do.
I would definitely say when a friend of mine, she like I was a bit short of cash, and I didn't ask her. I was just talking about something, and she gave me the money. And she said, don't worry about it, so, and I suppose I do pay forward because somebody asked me for money. In fact, they asked for me to borrow their money, and I borrowed them the money, but I never asked for it back, and they never gave it back. But, it is what it is. But my mum always used to say, don't ever give what you can't afford to lose.
Okay, I hear that.
So that if they don't give it back to you, it's no loss. But if they do give it back to you, it's a bonus. You see. So I do stand by that philosophy. In fact, I think there's lots of things that my mum had taught me that I actually do stand by. Don't there's certain things that she says, and I feel like looking back, I do follow that.
Right.
How about you? Things that your parents had said to you, or when you were young that you live by now?
My mum and dad used to share some Jamaican proverbs with me,
Mm.
and one of them was seeing blind, hearing deaf, keep your tongue betwixt your teeth.
What?
Seeing blind, hearing deaf, keep your tongue betwixt your teeth. It's probably between, I suppose, but betwixt is what my dad used to say. And that simply meant that if you go somewhere and you see something, just act like you never see it. It's not your business to talk.
Okay.
Just keep it moving. So, don't be a gossip.
Yeah. Do you know what? I that's something that if I have conversation with people, I'm not, no matter, you could be slagging somebody off. I'm not gonna um I'm not gonna tell the person because it's not my place. But however, it depends on the level of, if that's my friend that you're talking about, it's like, you're not gonna do that.
I used to just say, yeah, okay, before, but now I don't even engage. I remember once my neighbor was slating the neighbor next door. It's like they're this, they're that, they're whatever else. And I said to her, look, I hear what you're saying, but that's not my lived experience. And me and my family don't want to be involved in any passa.
Yeah.
And we just kept it moving. The woman just switched on me and one day cussed me out in the supermarket. I'm like, is she all right? But I feel like now, what I've adapted as you mature, once you start chatting negativity about other people,
Yeah.
my response is, do you know what? I've got to go, And I don't even cut the conversation. I cut my presence and just take myself out of it because I'm just not interested. Really not interested. I ain't got no time. And this is my thing for this year, particularly. I was good before, but now I'm even more serious. You see, from when you start with your negative energy, I have to leave because I ain't good for my spirit.
I totally agree with you.
You have to leave, man. What you put yourself around, and I was talking to somebody about music the other day, and they were saying, yeah, if they're going to work and they know it's going to be a confrontational meeting,
Yeah.
they just play some hardcore dancehall music and they're going there with a different energy. He's like, yeah, give me a hype, man. And I'm like, you know what? You're so right. So you have to be careful with what you listen to. It's not just music. It's conversation. It's what you watch. It's everything. So
It's true. Do you know what? I won't watch. I don't like horror films, and I won't watch anything.
Me neither.
I will not watch anything that is that puts me in a bad space in the night, because when you sleep on that, you just get up and you kind of like you almost live in that reality of what you've just watched. So it's important that you don't feed your brain with negative energy.
And that's why I'm just gobbling up these positive affirmations and stuff, man. Gobbling them up, swallowing them, taking them in as much as I can. From now on, my new thing is that if I'm reading a book, whether it's non-fiction or fiction or whatever else, I have to read something that's just motivational alongside it. Even if it's just a book of positive quotes, I need something that's going to give me that, because I need that every day, every single day. And I find that the thing of work, there's sometimes you think, it's going to be a really tough meeting, but when you go in that meeting with the right attitude, everything just spins in your favor.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is a matter of, it's not that the situation is bad, or negative. It's that because of where your mindset is and what you've been around, the environment that you've been in, you go into the meeting with a negative perception. Because perception and reality are not always the same thing. And it's the same that goes to your relationships as well. If you're around negative energy every day in your workplace, wherever you hang out, if you're in a bar all the time chatting nonsense with a load of people who have nothing better to do than to drink and chat crap, when you go home and you're having certain debates or arguments with your partner, you're going to respond to it with that same gully mentality as some of the people that you're around if they're negative influences. It's like saying to somebody, how can you take relationship advice from somebody who's only ever had broken relationships?
True.
So if you're going in with that mindset that they're providing you with, chances are it's not going to lend itself favorably to your situation. You're going to say, but go ahead, correct me. I don't have a problem.
No. But what I was going to say, that sometimes, if people have worked on themselves and they've had a broken relationship, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes some people can advise you wisely and say,
I,
like not to go through the things that they've gone through,
I'm in 100% agreement with you, but if you listen to the premise of my argument, it starts from if you're around negative energy or people that are trash talking and whatever else, then obviously if somebody's gone through their journey and and has helped has helped you to do certain things, then it's gonna be good for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's gonna help you to move forward. But if the person's on a negative vibe, that can never be productive for you. It can never help you in any way, shape, nor form.
True, true, true. Yeah.
So it's really challenging, and it's like the same thing. I hear a lot of I really empathize with the mothers out there that are raising their children by themselves, but they have to be very careful of who they're taking advice with on how to navigate the relationship with the father of their children.
Do you know what? Do you know? Like I say, Facebook or Instagram, like social media has its good side and social media has its dark side. On the positive side is that it gets people talking. Like if you get into the right chat rooms, yeah, you can hear some really interesting conversations. And especially there is a young man, let me see what his name is.
It's not Dale, is it?
Dell?
That talks about co-parenting,
Raising,
raising boys to men.
yeah, raising boys to men. Is that his name, Dell?
Mm, His name is Dale. His last name is Dale. I can't remember his first name. I did some work with him about 2 years, about before COVID, about a year before COVID.
Okay. Yeah,
I can't remember
yeah.
his last name.
He does
He's,
a lot of podcasts and conversations and about co-parenting, and co-parenting is not easy when the two parents are at loggerheads, but you know what, you have to put your child first, have to have to put your child first. And I think you don't sometimes two people are not meant to be together, but unfortunately they've had a child. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because it's happened. So the child should be center and should be their priority, you know and as we well know, children need both parents, you know it's so important. Not just boys needing their fathers, girls need their fathers too,
everybody does.
you know. And men need to
Right now,
step up.
right now, I feel like I need my father. I can resurrect him.
You've
Right
gone
in the
Daleki.
with me.
You've gone Daleki. Say that again
Sorry.
about your father.
Yeah. Said right now, I feel like I need my father. If I can resurrect him, I'll sit in the car for 5 minutes, boy. That'd be amazing.
Hold
Can
on.
you hear me?
You just went Daleki. Say it again.
Oh wait, hold on. Take off these headphones. Sorry, I was surprised. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
I was saying right now, I feel like I need my father. If I could resurrect him and have him sit in the car with me for 5 minutes, it'll be a blessing.
Oh.
Yeah, that reasoning. But you know what? I was saying this the other day that I've just got this need where I feel like I need to go to the cemetery where he's buried and sit and hold a reason. I need to probably book a ticket to Jamaica, man.
Maybe that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
But did you hear about British Airways?
They got some sort of sale on.
Huh?
Have they got some sort of sale on?
No. Hold on a sec. I'll read it to you. Yeah. British Airways. Where is it? Yeah. Important information. Yeah. British Airways. We have recently received communication from British Airways to advise us that as of the 7th of February 2023, they will no longer be supporting community fares to the Caribbean. What does this mean for you? If you are contemplating making a booking on British Airways to the Caribbean, get it done before the 7th of February. What happens after the 7th? Inevitably, British Airways fares will increase. Apart from Kingston, Port of Spain, and Grenada, all other Caribbean destinations with British Airways will become instant purchase and deposits cannot be accepted. As stated above, Kingston, Port of Spain, and Grenada are unaffected and deposits can still be accepted. So, anybody currently holding bookings that have not been paid for in full and thinking of changing dates, you must get this done before the 7th of February.
Do you know what? I think they could be shooting themselves in the foot because there's a lot of people
Well, I
who are.
think people should just boycott British Airways. That's what they should do.
I ain't got a problem with that at all.
Because,
To be honest with you, I don't even like flying with British Airways. I prefer Virgin.
yeah, I do.
And I'm surprised I'm saying that because their internet service is the pits. It's the worst I've ever had.
What? British, Virgin?
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
Okay.
Not worse than BT, or Sky, but still terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, it's. I don't even know what would have triggered that, but I don't know what would have triggered that at all.
but it's not good.
Hmm.
It's not good. Not good at all. For the fact that a lot of people, whether they fly British Airways or Virgin, but putting deposits down helps people to plan and pay for, even if they're doing it for next year.
Hey, I'm gonna flip the subject quickly and go on to the strikes. Yeah.
Flip it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna change the subject on you.
Okay.
You know the strike action that's taking place across the country.
Yep.
I saw a video of how the tram drivers striked in Croydon. Oh my days! You know what these people did?
Mhm.
From in the morning, they pitched up their little tents, yeah, or gazebos, what you want to call it. You know the ones where it's got the four legs and
Yeah.
the roof.
Yeah.
String out their sound system across their depots down in Broadway. Pull out two jerk
Only
pants,
black people.
and they kept to dance to their strike. Their picket line was like a whole bunch of dancehall and soca songs.
Only black people.
But listen, if you're gonna miss a day's pay to stand up for your rights, you might as well do it in a way that you can enjoy it.
In style,
Because out there was cold.
That's the only way that you're going to keep warm.
I'm gonna send you the video later, man. Because I sent it to somebody. It was so funny.
Did you see it?
Yeah, yes. No, I didn't go out there because I didn't know about it. But someone sent me the video and said, "Boy, this is how they get down in Croydon." I was like, "You done know?"
Wow.
Yeah, we're ripping it. We're ripping it. It was really nice. It was really nice. Do you know what? I got to talk about work. You know what? I work for one of the most amazing charities you will ever find. So, our director at People Services at Macmillan, we met in Solihull in Birmingham for a 2-day away day. Really inspiring, motivating, and it just reaffirmed for me that I'm working in a beautiful place, in a wonderful company with some amazing people. But the highlight of the day for me, or the 2 days, was when our director, Matt Trimmer, stood up and said that, we've really grown our directorate quite significantly. We now have 250 members, and it's not fluff; it's members that are needed to carry out the work that we do. Yeah. But what was amazing is that the 250 of us as staff members, we've impacted the lives of over 600,000 people last year across the UK. And it was just like, oh my days. And when you're talking to people who are going through their cancer journeys and they mention how Macmillan supported them and stuff, it is just so amazing. I wake up every day, and when I think about work, the excitement is like when when you've met that person that you fancy for the first time, you're going to get that phone call, you're going to sit on the phone the whole day. That's how I feel about work.
Oh, bless you.
Absolutely phenomenal. And it made me feel proud just to know that every donation that we receive from the general public, that is going to good causes. And I think what I'm proud of as well is to a great extent is the way that we've before Macmillan used to be seen to some extent as an organisation that serves white middle class people based
Yeah.
on, I think, advertisements, the branding and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And their efforts to change everything, I think the change started before, but I think the George Floyd incident and Black Lives Matter really brought everything to the fore. But
Do
the
you,
way that we're engaging
can I
with
ask you a question? Do you think that this is where the representation comes in?
in terms of what?
In terms of your employers changing the representation of their organisation, how it was portrayed before to how it is now? Because
I think it was a wake up call.
yeah,
I think they had started. I know that the engagement team that I'm a part of, we've been drumming that drum for a long time. I think that the point when I joined the organizations, our team was able to have more influence and more voice. But when the George Floyd situation happened and the calling out was taking place on social media and so forth, it put it at the forefront and placed us on overdrive. And now when you look at our advertisements on TV, I'm just so proud of them as an organization. When you look at our advertisements on TV, our leaflets, our posters, the people we have telling the stories,
yeah,
it is so diverse. It now looks like London. And that's what it should have been all along from day dot.
but it should
You know?
be all
I'm gonna say,
organisations.
of course, but I really feel like this is my personal view, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the organization now. I'm speaking on behalf of Lee Townsend. I believe that we're trailblazing and we're setting the trend for many other organizations out there currently. And it doesn't feel like a case of too little, too late. It feels like doing the right thing right now.
Yeah. And that is so important. Do you know what? We are actually coming up to that all important community break. Welcome back to the last segment of Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. I've been in conversation with Lee Townsend, who is bringing us less of the community information today, but more information and awareness. Now, if you've just tuned in, where have you been? And welcome anyway. Lee, before we went to break, you was talking about how brilliant your organization was, and how
the one I work for.
The organization that you work for. How are you working with diverse communities? How is your organization working with diverse communities?
You know what? We're actually on a recruitment drive at the moment where we're trying to recruit some volunteers to help us evaluate our digital content. Not digital content, the content that we prepare for different platforms. So it could be digital, but it could also be written or audio. So for example, if we created leaflets or we created a TV ad or we created an information booklet, we're trying to get a team of volunteers from different backgrounds that would share their insights, the value in it, the language that's used, are the pictures appropriate. So what we're constantly doing is double checking and make sure that we meet the standards that are required and that we're able to transcend the various groups that exist there and that they can receive the information that we have. So that's just one small way, but I think that's a very important way, and it's an acknowledgement of the fact that we realize that there were some shortcomings in the material that we were creating and providing for communities, and that's why certain sections of the community were saying that they don't think that Macmillan is a service designed for them. So we're wholeheartedly going at that. In terms of my role, and there's Macmillan engagement leads right across the country, and our role is to ensure that we're engaging with people from the community, especially hard to reach groups, that people are aware of our services, how they can access it. We're supporting people to set up their own support groups and organizations that are serving people living with cancer across the country. We're also making sure that there's a patient voice in the development of the grants that come in, or the applications that come in for bids and grants, etc., from various organizations and the trusts that we work with. So when new services are being developed, that there's a patient voice embedded in that, but also that there's a representation of different people in that as well. So over in City in Hackney, We recently had a consultation with community stakeholders looking at what does personalised care look like for people living with cancer in the community, not in an acute setting in the hospitals, but actually in the community. And we had representation from the different groups, different individuals. Obviously, we can't fit everyone. There was like 30 people in the room, but I made sure that there were people who looked like they lived in Hackney and City. Do you know what I mean? That I attended as people living with cancer. We had people from a carers association. We had people from the Jewish Orthodox community that were there, the Turkish community. We had third sector organizations present at the table, GPs, community nurses, cancer nurse specialists, people from the social prescribing project in the area, so that we could all look at it from a very rounded perspective as to what are the things that are working currently in City and Hackney for people living with cancer in the community, and where were the shortcomings and gaps that we think needed to be filled. And then from that, we'll develop a summary document that will give an overview of where the areas of concern were and where best practice lies, so that we can put together a project that will meet the needs and be fit for purpose. So that's just two small examples. Tomorrow, where am I tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm in Dalston, meeting with a cancer support group. This support group supports Black people living with cancer. They've got their Christmas in January party, and we've got a film crew that will be going down to film some elements of that session.
Okay.
And using that to feature the leader of the group, who will be part of I guess, an infomercial or something that we're developing, some filming footage to show the life of somebody, in a day in the life of somebody living with cancer. And so we're doing all these things to let people know that, you know, cancer doesn't discriminate. And
No, it
as a
certainly
service,
doesn't.
Macmillan certainly doesn't. We want to make sure that everybody across the UK who has a diagnosis of cancer receives the best possible treatment and care.
Just really quickly, you touched on volunteers. What kind of things can a person, like, what's the criteria of a volunteer? What kind of things are you looking for a volunteer?
So we've got role descriptions for all of our volunteering roles, and they're so varied, they're so wide. We've got telephone befrienders, which is an invaluable service. Some people who are going through their cancer journey don't feel comfortable talking to friends and family members, and would rather just have that companionship from somebody who they don't necessarily know. So it feels as if a fresh start almost. And we've got a number of people who go through an extensive amount of training to become befrienders, and they might speak to that person. I'm not sure the exact figures. As I'm saying, I'm just speaking generally as an employee now, not as a spokesperson for Macmillan. And so these are all my views and opinions and my observations. But these people are trained on how to sensitively and in a culturally appropriate way be a friend to that individual. And they speak on a regular basis. It can be by phone, it can be by text, it can be via email, because everyone has their own way that they want to communicate with people. So that's what we prepare individuals for, and they can do that. We've got volunteers that help out at some of our Macmillan information centres. They're trained appropriately and able to share advice and signpost people or direct them to relevant bits of information. We've got some people who like to volunteer on a one-off, so they might keep a Macmillan coffee morning, which is basically one time of year in September, throughout that month, where people have coffee mornings to raise money for us, and that's one of our biggest fundraisers throughout the year. There's the opportunity there's opportunities to do things like a sponsored walk. There's one I'm thinking of, which is running 28 miles over 28 days. So I'm thinking about doing that as a fundraiser, and that will be my volunteering for the organisation. And it's weird. Why volunteer for an organisation that you work for? And for me, it's simply because I believe in the organisation. Because both as someone who's seen friends benefit from those services and people in the community who I've come to understand and know, but also as an employee, the way that I'm treated and empowered by my manager and by the leadership within the organisation, but the opportunities for training, for my personal development, even in my profile to some extent indirectly, for an organisation to see little me and be proud and confident to put me in front of Sky TV cameras or to stay on the most listened to radio programme for men in this country, to speak and represent the organisation, it just fills me with joy to hear. I've worked in organisations where I've been sharing my ideas for years and they were always poo-pooed. And when I share an idea at Macmillan, the vibe that I get is let's do it, let's make it
Yeah.
happen.
Mm.
You know, and so and then we've realized how much that impacts people.
Yeah.
We just had a conference in Croydon, the Croydon Cancer Conference.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was one of the hosts, and it was amazing. This organization put this event on in less than 12 weeks. They had over 200 people from within the community attend. They had some phenomenal speakers. It was just absolutely amazing. It was put on by the Croydon BME Forum, and we funded it and supported it. And and that's another thing that we do. So a lot of the people who are living with cancer, who share their stories with us and so forth, we create opportunities or put them in touch with people where they can get to share those stories and to speak. So the keynote speaker at the event was someone that I've been working with for the last 3 years, Judith Neptune from Me to You. A lot of the other speakers that were there are people who I have personally been working with and have relationships with, or who other members of our team have been engaged with, and it's just fantastic to be able to have an impact. And I think that looking on our website at volunteering opportunities, you'll be surprised at the variety of ways in which you can volunteer. And I would say you might work somewhere where you can give someone from Macmillan 30 minutes to come in and speak to your staff, or one of our volunteers to come and share their stories with you. And that can make a world of a difference and could save someone's life potentially. So, you know, if you're listening to this program and you've got any questions around cancer, check out Macmillan's website, www.macmillan.org.uk. We've got a call line. Send us an email, get in contact, because someone will be there who will be able to direct you to the right chapter of our service, or the right, you know, person to help you, or department is the word I'm looking for. And, you know, that's how we're going to make the change.
Yeah. In fact, I was just about to ask you, is there a contact number that if people are interested in becoming a volunteer, who should they be contacting?
See now, as I said, I'm not representing Macmillan
No,
here
I know
today.
you're not representing, but you are speaking on behalf of.
I'm saying that for my justification.
Yeah.
I'm not representing Macmillan here today. I'm just on the show as Lee Townsend,
but
speaking about community and whatever else. But because I love my job and I'm so passionate about Macmillan, I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm neurodivergent. I don't remember numbers like that.
Okay.
So I'm not going to even try and fire anything out to you. But if I was coming to speak about Macmillan, I would have prepared to speak about Macmillan. So everything you're hearing from me is straight from the heart, straight off the cuff, totally driven by passion.
Okay, Mr. Lee Townsend. So if they want to become volunteers, just go onto the Macmillan website, or in fact, contact Lee. I am Mr. Lee Townsend on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? And Macmillan's on the socials. So
There
if
you
you
go.
send a message to on any of our channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, someone will get back to you.
There you go.
It's phenomenal how efficient the organization is. So just send a message, someone will get back to you. But of course, if you do want to reach out to me, I will try and respond and direct you to the right source. And I'll be glad for the little follow, a little bit of support as well. So, you know, we're always
to increase those algorithms, you know, a little follow here, a little follow there, doesn't go amiss, people. You know, it's all about the algorithms, you see. So yes, let's improve this year. Just a little touch and follow. You know, share the love. And as I say, there are people going through a lot this year.
So true. Do you know what, Juliet? Just for people who might need support, who are living with cancer, or got questions about treatment, or need to speak to a cancer nurse specialist, or need to speak to somebody in their own language about their cancer treatment or diagnosis and so forth, you can call this number and request a translator, or someone that speaks, not a translator, someone that speaks your language.
Yeah.
Now, it's not every single language under the sun, but there are quite a few, and more than you can possibly imagine. So it's the number for Macmillan is 0808 808 0000. So I'll go again. It's 0808 808 0000, and that's Macmillan support line.
Say that number. 0808 808 yeah. 00.
So I'm gonna say it one more time.
00.
0808
Yeah.
808 Double O, double O.
0000. Okay. Rightio. So, people, you know the number. That's 0808 808 0000.
You got it.
It's only because I wrote it down.
Right. Do you know what? I had to Google it, and I work for the company. It's a shame. I should get a
my
tattoo
my
somewhere that says the
my
number.
my brain right about now. Even I used to remember numbers, and there's only two numbers I can remember, and that's my sister's. I could just about remember my own number.
Do you know what? I only know two phone numbers in the UK because they're long now, isn't it? And the only two numbers I know is my number and my wife's, but sometimes I mix them up. So
Yeah.
I've got dyspraxia, and it really messes, and this dyslexia as well, and it really messes with me. So numbers is not something I do very well at all. In fact, do you know what happens to me a lot?
What?
I can't write numbers down. So if you're reading out a phone number to me, I can't write it down. I'll mix it up and get confused.
Okay.
So sometimes, depending on who it is, I'll pretend as if I got it and then get it from someone else afterwards because I can't take the embarrassment. How many times do you want me to repeat this thing? 10? 20?
30?
So,
But no, on a serious note, you know, the people, sometimes, you know, like somebody could be saying a number and I'll be like, how'd you write 8 again?
But you know what it is as well? When you're writing down a phone number, there's like, everyone has their own sequence, like how many numbers they usually write down at one time. Sometimes you're calling a call center and like, can you give me your phone number, please, Mr. Townsend? And you read it out to them, and how they read it back to you is like, you're wondering if it's even your phone number.
Exactly. And you'll be like, hold on a second. And then I have to read it back. I have to say, hold up a sec. Let me tell them. And then,
Do you know what killed?
Go
What
ahead.
kills me though is when they're spelling something and they start using, what's that thing called?
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
Oscar, what's
even
it
go
called?
there. Juliet Bravo.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, huh? What? Hold up. And I'm like, and when they're saying it, they say it so fast. And I'm like, hold up. My brain can't take that. And especially like my surname. Oh my goodness. Forget that. That's just blown my mind out. So that, forget it. It's like, no, we're not going there.
You know, that's one of the things that I can't help going back to work. I'm proud of them as well. We created so many leaflets in other small dialects that might not be. It's not English. So we did a lot of stuff in Turkish. There's a lot of Asian languages. We've got some videos called the Mother Tongue Project, where people are talking about cancer in Igbo.
Oh, really?
Cree was one of them and stuff. Yeah. So we've really gone all out with that as well.
Wow,
Just making
I'm
it
impressed.
inclusive, because you know that not everybody digests stuff in the same way.
True.
Yeah. So really, really, really changing the way we do things, and it's making me. EDI is so big on our agenda that now I've got some big disclaimer on my email. I write in font size 12. I use plain text just to make sure that people can see it and be able to read it very clearly. And even at my signature on my emails, I've got a button that you can press so you can hear how my name is pronounced.
Yeah.
So
What?
most
So
of my
they can't
colleagues do that as well.
pronounce Lee Townsend.
Well, some people might not be able to read so well, so if they can click on something and see my name, hear my name being said to them, then it's easy.
That's true.
And not only that, when you share things like that, it's not only because your name might be hard or easy to say, but it triggers someone else to copy you and use the same web feature.
Yeah, because
It's just a website.
Because funny enough, you know, some pronunciations, even when you hear it, you just still can't get your tongue around it. You know,
that's why Google's your best friend.
and so I have to break it down. I have to break those words down to how I think it's said, and then pronounce it, and then it sounds like that.
So working in engagement and working with communities and stuff, one of the most respectful things that you can do is get the pronunciations of people's names right. Now, I struggle with names, and I make that very clear every time I meet someone. But what I always try to do is to Google how the name's pronounced. And there's this thing that comes up on YouTube. It's like a YouTube screen, but you just press the play button from in Google.
Yeah.
And it will say it for you. So I try to use stuff like that as much as I can. Because, you know, you really just want to show people the respect that they deserve.
Yeah. But, you know, not all names is just going to be possible to pronounce.
For some people. But I think I think in a sense,
I would
everything is
ra-
possible
I
if
would
you put
ra-
enough time in it. Everything is possible.
but but what I do, when I hear some people struggling with our family name, I just get, when we used to be in primary school.
What is it?
Oh, no, I'm not going to say it on the airways. Are you mad?
That when you say Lee Townsend every week, what's wrong with you?
Well,
No, okay. I respect what you're saying. I'm
yeah,
just playing.
but the thing is that when I was younger, and I was one of those children that always used to get a certificate in spelling, certificate in maths, and in something. So, and they would call our name, whether it's my brother or sister's name, we was always last, and it was like, oh God. Even before, because I knew that they were calling my name, I would just jump up. I'd just jump up because I didn't want them to say my name, and I was at that stage really quickly, so he didn't bother, because the next thing would be because he couldn't say it properly. So I'd rather you don't demolish my name, But just
Do you
stick
still
to
go by that same name on your professional documents now?
Yes,
Okay, good.
I do.
Good for you.
I am double barrel. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, thank you so much, Lee. Your input, as always, is very, very appreciated. And the feedback we get is always acknowledged and never
I'm
goes
always
unnoticed.
happy to come on air with you, Juliet, and allow you to chew my ear off.
Yeah, when I'm vexed.
But as always, though, thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you to the Supreme FM team, and for everyone who took the time out to tune in today.
No, that's always appreciated. So what are you doing after the show, Lee?
The girls are swimming, so I'll be doing the swimming drop off. But today's gonna be a working day for me. I was out of office all week last week, so I want to kind of catch up on some emails and some documents I need to look over and stuff and get back to some people. So be a working weekend for me.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely brilliant. Right. So, on that note, keep it supreme with me, your host, Juliet G. Next week, I'm going to be in conversation with Mr. Wayne Dibby Rollins. Yes, I'm going to be in conversation with Wayne. So, I know this is going to be pure laughters and jokes. So, as I like to say, as always, each and every week, you don't want to miss this. So, set your alarm clocks from now. Yes. So, coming up next at the top of the hour, we have Martin J till 12 noon. And from 12 noon till 2 p.m., we have La J. And from 2 to 4 p.m., we have TLC. And 4 till 6, we have, I think, Mr. Autopilot in for TJ Sting. And from 6 till 8 p.m. we have WJ Goodgroove, and 8 till 10 p.m. we have Lloydie Banks, and 10 till midnight we have DJ Squeaky, and midnight to 2 a.m. we have Uncle Nuts until he says so. So that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the DJ lineup for this Saturday stroke Sunday morning on your number one community radio station, Supreme FM. As always, thank you to each and every one of you, whether you be a first-time listener or a regular listener. Thank you for spending the last couple of hours with yours truly. And I'm just a small fraction of the Supreme team. If you're not already following me on the gram, Spilling the Tea to Juliet G, that's what it is. And you'll get my show update and notification when I will go Insta Live, which will be this Thursday, the 2nd of February. So it's the same time next week for your Saturday morning fix. Remember, tomorrow is not promised. So love and appreciate the people that are in your lives, and because you have no business worrying about those that aren't. First and foremost, look after yourself and be kind to others. It takes a village. Let's build our village. Have a blessed day, have a safe day, and make it a memorable day. Yes, make it a memorable day.